scene is set later the same night as the Gypsy Jamboree. Uh, Ragnar and the good Abbot Salamanca are traveling to the northeast on their way up towards the mountains. Actually, I just realized something. Ragnar, where were you headed exactly first? Where were you going first?
Technically, I was gonna go check that blacksmith's forge, but
Oh, well, that is in the opposite direction.
right, it didn't. Is that super far away? Like I would
No,
think
but
it.
like it'll if you go check the blacksmith's forge, you'll basically be forcing yourself to stay in Vion for the night.
Oh man,
But yeah, you realize that you are being followed by the good abbot wherever it is that you're going.
okay, I guess I would be leaving town. I'm being followed by the good abbot.
Yes, and where are you headed now? What is your destination?
My destination was to the woods with the wolves.
Okay, but like where? Because I mean, the woods are
Uh,
all over the place. Like,
the
where are you
woods,
going?
the woods on the right side, so that I can, find the wolves in the right woods. That's my territory, and then head from there to the stones, and then from the stones to my mines.
Okay. He starts going um, due east. Good Abbot Salamanca, which is sort of in the direction you want to go, but way farther south than you want to go in it. And he's
Um,
heading directly into the thickness of the woods. Do you continue to follow?
I will actually call out to him and say, Ragnar,
Yes.
as warden, I was wondering if you would be so kind as to give me an escort to my castle in the north.
No.
You don't even want to set a price on your time?
I mean, yes, I will set a price on my time if you're willing to pay me. No, I would not like to do it out of the kindness of my heart.
What is the price you're willing to pay, or you're willing to accept?
Given your recent plight with the wolves, two major boons.
The abbot will kind of cock his head to the side and he'll say, I'm not really in a position to refuse you.
Okay. Well, then instead, I'm gonna fucking travel north first and fuck up my travel.
All right. So you divert your course, and PJ, roll me a chance die. Oh, you can't. I have to roll it for
I
you.
can't. You roll for me.
Right.
You roll for me.
Oh, okay. Um, so start heading north, along the path into the woods. It's getting on in the evening, and you hear the telltale signs of huge wolves nearby. And actually,
I will have the gypsies circle up the wagon.
the gypsies are still in their camp. They're staying in that camp for the nighttime
Oh, okay, cool.
because they are not going into the woods at night. No fucking way.
So is it just me, Janaki, and him?
Yeah,
Okay.
but Janaki is not even anywhere to be seen.
He's like, oh yeah, but I'm not gonna be seen, so okay.
All right. But yeah, you hear. It sounds like an exceptionally large wolf is leading the howl,
I will get
and
off
every
my
once in a
horse.
while you hear like padded footprints crashing through the underbrush, and when you turn your head to look, you don't see anything.
I will give my horse to the abbot, and I will wait there.
All right. Eventually, um, as you wait in the center of the path, um, a large yellow, long-haired wolf with a huge. It's not rusty like this thing. A huge one edged and slightly curved forward and pointed at the top, two-handed sword clutched in both of his hands, down low in front of his knees. is standing in the middle of the path, and then he raises a hand to you in like hailing.
I will stop and I will pull and show my symbol on my chest and then move my shirt back down.
He nods and he takes his sword and stabs it into the ground, and then takes like 2 long sidling steps away from it and motions for you to come closer.
I do.
All right.
I'm just staying on my horse, holding his horse.
You know not who you travel with clearly, or you would not keep the company you are. Unless you are not as touched by the mother as they say. You bring a creature of great corruption through these woods.
Ragnar will pop a claw, or his claws, and then he will trace a circle around him and the wolf, and then he will mark runes into the ground.
The wolf takes a step back out of the circle as you're doing it. What are you doing?
Making us private.
Ah. He steps back into the circle.
That's in Old Norse if you speak it.
Yeah, he does.
No, I mean the abbot.
He does not.
He nods and he just folds his arms and watches you do it.
And I get to waste 5 successes on this.
5 extra dice.
Yeah, 5 extra dice on this.
So you're rolling 16?
16 dice. Did 5.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes.
8 successes. Well, it is obnoxiously going to make sure that we are can't be heard out. I guess I could make it other things too, but
In fact, here I got you. The gangrel carves some runes and stuff into a circle, and then him and the werewolf disappear from sight.
Okay, I'm going to just continue where I am, sitting on my horse, leaving this to the warden. That's his job.
Okay. He sniffs a little bit and scratches the back of his head as if he's a little uncomfortable, but continues to watch you.
Ragnar will sit down in his casual one leg underneath him and his knee close to him.
He'll take a knee as well and kind of do a Tim Tebow stance.
Right. Yes.
His big giant muzzle is really close to you, and you can smell sweat and dirt, fresh wet dirt, as if after a rainfall.
Oh, sweet. Yes, I am traveling with this very tainted one. But
why? This is dangerous for you, and will sully your reputation among us. That tattoo on your shoulder will do some, but not as many are as reasonable as my father or I. The Talons. They call for your blood, and for his blood, and for the blood of your horses, and for the blood of all of the men who travel with you, including the gypsies.
Ragnar nods very, understandably. He's oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have been able to keep them at bay by pleading to my alphas for so long. However, I think that this creature which you travel with needs to be dealt with. I mean to challenge him to a duel.
I need to speak to the alphas immediately. Things will become much clearer to them once I speak, but this one must go because we, the vampires, the wolves, the fae, and the mages, have to band together. and we cannot have any infighting whatsoever.
Our theurges have brought forth great portents that do not bode well coming from the north. So I am not. Your plight does not fall on deaf ears. However, we cannot allow this one, and he looks over at the Lasombra, to traverse our land as he sees fit. I will be willing, for the kinship that my kind bears for you, allow him to pass this once with an escort. Unfortunately, the escort will not be of my choosing. It is up to the Alphas, but I can bring you to them immediately and allow him to pass this once. But should he return, he just shakes his head, and then he digs his hands into the ground, and you just hear like a crunching, crushing sound. And then he pulls them out and shakes the dirt from his claws.
Ragnar will nod. You do me great service. When we go, I would wish that you will be there with the Alphas to hear what I have to say.
I will bring you myself. They will not allow you passage to where they rest without me.
Well, let us not waste this night.
And he will get up. Most likely be required to disarm.
Ragnar looks at his staff and shrugs. This item is not used for fighting. It is used for telling if there are those around who subtly serve the worm and its manifestations of the true darkness.
He puts a hand up in front of your face, like backwards, like the back of his hand, and he curls the claws inwards to his palm, and like makes almost like a fist, but not fully closing the middle of his hand, and just like strokes the front of your garment one time with like his non-clawed knuckles.
Mm.
By disarm, I also mean everything. You will be allowed to keep your modesty, but not much more.
I like touch the vial at my throat.
Oh, of course you may keep the blood of the mother. We would never think to remove it from you, but the rest of your garments.
Ragnar shrugs. This is fine.
He nods.
I have done away with modesty a long time ago.
As long as I have the blood. Now I will take them from you before we enter the dawn.
Good. He will use his staff to get up. And he will step out.
Okay. As he steps out of the circle, Ragnar reappears to you. He just kind of like, as if he was like Harry Potter stepping out of the invisibility cloak. And then this giant wolf thing will take a couple steps back and pick up his sword and hold it over his shoulder. And then he'll throw his head back and howl loudly. And Evan, roll me 4 fate die.
Beg your pardon?
Roll me 4 of the plus-minus die.
4 of the plus-minus die. Okay. Plus, neutral, minus.
Okay. All right. So 4 larger than you've ever seen, dark brown wolves with huge shocks of red hair, either on their head like a mane or on their chest or like on their paws and tails or bellies, all various different markings, begin to appear out of the forest, and they start to circle you and snarl, Evan.
Mm-hmm.
I walk over and take my horse. These wolves will walk you to where you live. They will not molest you.
I see.
Your safety has been guaranteed by me. You will arrive at your home.
I thank you, Warden.
He will nod his head to you and then take his horse, and he will start walking it into the woods next to the golden-haired wolf.
Who then you hear like his bones pop and crack, and he actually leans forward, and his sword melds into his back, and he becomes like a very large blonde and white wolf with glowing green eyes. Not glowing green eyes, but like very brilliant green eyes. And he begins to take off at a full run. So why don't you make me a dex ride?
Okay, 4 dice.
All right, you got 4 successes, and you keep up with this swift-moving wolf, who seems to be he seems pretty happy with himself that you are able to keep up, and that he is able to run faster than a horse by even a little bit. Evan, these wolves, they like snarl and snap at you as they're walking you along the path.
Well, I'm still on horseback, so I will kind of, just keep my eyes forward and keep as calm as I can.
All right, give me a charisma animal ken to keep your horse from bolting.
To keep my horse from bolting, okay. I have... Okay, cool.
Do you have any dots in animal ken?
I 100% do not.
Oh, then you cannot even roll this.
You can.
I thought
It's
you
just
said-
1 diff higher.
All right, fine. All right, whatever,
I
fine.
had,
So
I had
diff,
9 and an 8 in that roll, but, I thought I couldn't roll it, so am I re-rolling? Okay.
no, that's fine. 9 and an 8, you got 1
Okay.
success. The horse is like you can feel it. It's like it wants to bolt, but you keep it in check for now. After a short time of riding, one of the wolves, the biggest one, actually runs ahead of you down the path a little bit, and then begins. He looks at the other wolves and he snarls and snaps his jaw and growls, and 2 of them just kind of sit on either side of where you are. If your horse keeps moving, they don't follow it. They just sit down, and then one of them barks and snarls back at him, and they both are in the middle of the path, blocking your path. Your horse stops, and the 2 wolves start to circle each other. The bigger one has the sides of his mouth start to froth, and he draws back his lips, and the other one lowers itself and barks, and then the two of them run at each other kind of with their teeth bared, and start barking and fighting, and let's see what happens. All right. The smaller of the 2 wolves actually gets up under the jaw of the larger wolf and clamps its mouth around his neck and pulls him to the ground and shakes its head violently, and there's a spray of blood. And then the other wolf lifts its head up and rolls completely over onto its back, exposing its belly. And the other wolf, the smaller wolf, with now blood-stained jaws, nips its belly a little bit, and that wolf, the one that's been attacked, goes to the back slinks off towards the back of the pack. And then the smaller red wolf looks up at you and your horse and growls, and then begins to just trot in front of the horse, the other 2 on either side of you, and the one in the back with its tail hung between its legs. And you will reach about the middle of the forest, and the sun is starting to come up, or it'll be coming up in very shortly.
Right.
What do you do?
Um, I'm going to look at the wolf who's leading me, and I'm going to say, because I believe it can understand me. I mean, it's not an unreasonable assumption when you're dealing with magic effing wolves. Um, I'm gonna say to it, I was promised safe conduct from this forest, but if the sun rises, I'll meet my end. I would like to, find some place to weather the day, whether it's on this side or the other side of the forest. Is there a cave or something of that nature?
Snarls at you and barks a few times and lowers himself and growls, and his tail goes straight up in the air. And he looks left and right to like the forest on either side of the path and barks at you.
I'm assuming that means no.
He barks at you some more.
Right. How much longer do I have until sunrise?
Oh, let's say half an hour.
Where am I physically?
Directly in the center of the forest, in the center of this path, about a day's ride from, well, like a full night's ride from the Crossing Castle.
There's nothing here, is there, in terms of human
Cities or
inhabitants?
towns or anything? No, nothing on
I
your
mean,
map.
even an inn or anything on the road. I mean, that wouldn't be uncommon going through a forest, no?
No, there's no inn on this road.
Okay.
There's no inns of any kind in the forest because when they happen to put them there, they all get ripped apart by wolves. Or monsters or vampires or whatever, depending on the legends.
Depending on the legends. Let me think.
3 dots of protein is so important in the Dark Ages.
The lead wolf starts to turn around and continue walking.
In survival? Maybe?
Sure.
Cool. And what was I gonna say? Diff, well, I don't have survival, so it'll be higher than normal.
Yeah, let's go with diff 9.
Okay, gonna blow willpower. Not bad, 3 successes.
Okay. Where do you go to search for this thing? Because if do you leave the path or not?
No, because the wolves are going to tear me apart. I'm trying to think, how can I cover... Basically, I think the path is safe from how the wolf has described it to me with moving its head side to side. And kind of growling when it did so. So just anything that I can do that will keep me out of the sun, that won't bring me, into the forest, that they'll kill me in anyway. I mean, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If you stay on the path, there's really nothing for you. Like you'll just stay on the path.
What's the path made of?
Dirt.
Are you attempting to dig a hole in 30 minutes to bury yourself in?
Something like that, yeah.
You don't have eidetic memory or anything, do you?
Not on this character, no. What do I have?
He got 3 successes on his into cult roll, right?
On his survival roll.
Survival roll?
Mm-hmm. That doesn't make shelter where there isn't any.
No, it doesn't make
shelter.
shelter.
Allow me to advise him?
If you keep it concise.
Do you remember where the map is? Because there is, while it's not on the road, there is kindred-owned territory.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I'll see if the wolves will respect that. I'll say, not too far away from here is forest that's claimed by Ragnar. Would you mind if I rest in the forest that's claimed by Ragnar?
They all growl at you.
That's apparently a no.
Well,
They all start to scratch the path.
The path?
Yeah.
Would you mind helping
The
me?
lead one howls at you. It's been about 10 minutes. You got about 20 minutes till sunrise.
Do you mind? Oh, I've got one. Do you mind if I spend time in a tree next to the path, if there is a hollow?
They growl at you and bark.
not being able to speak to these guys is pretty inconvenient.
I mean,
a growl could even be yes. You don't even know.
Is it? I'm going to say I can't understand you. Let me just try and think. Can you?
More
Hmm?
importantly, Evan, there's not just territory owned by Ragnar. There are places.
Yeah, but that's real far away, dude. That's like another night's ride.
Oh, is it?
You left from the main city, and it takes, like, to get to Ragnar's place, if you were to make a beeline through the woods, he would need, like, to reach the edge of your territory, he'd have to go for about 12 hours without stopping, and he's got about 20 minutes till the sun comes up.
That's brutal. I mean, theoretically, your character rode a horse down here, so, like, you don't have, like, tents and stuff to have?
I'll leave that up to Jake. I mean, do you carry survival gear on horses?
Do you? Is it, like, on your character
Actually,
sheet?
well, no, it's not on my character sheet.
That was
Like,
an
does anyone
oversight.
put survival? Does anyone put survival gear on their character sheet?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's got to be some leeway because, like, he had to have survival gear to get here from where he was. Like, it was impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
He
silly
also
saying
came here in a cat. Oh, no, it was another guy.
Yeah.
I rode here the first time.
Well, yeah, you stopped at the one crossing castle, and then you rode all night till you got to Vion, and then you only had about an hour. So yeah. But at this point, you had left already into the night because you attended the Ravnos Jamboree, and now you've made it about halfway to the other castle. If you had started in the beginning of the night and rode straight to that castle, you probably would make it there, and then you would have had to ride another night to the Lasombra Monastery. But at this point, you're only like, 2/3 of the way through the woods. You're almost to the river.
We lost track of Janaki. Is he there with him, or is he just gone still?
He was fucking hiding when the giant werewolf showed up.
But okay. Oh wait, I'm nearly at the river. Am I?
Yeah,
Okay, I know exactly what I can do. How far am I to the river?
it's gonna be fucking super close.
Okay, what I'm
Live that
gonna
life.
do. What?
I said, live that life, ride hard.
Live that life. Die hard.
I want
Yeah.
5 successes on a ride roll to get there in 20 minutes.
Can I drop blood into my dex? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not gonna make your horse run any faster. I mean, yeah, I guess it could help you ride him a little bit better.
Beg your pardon.
Sure, drop blood into Dex.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes to get to the river.
All right,
Hey, you
just
made it.
roll something really quick. Uh-oh. One of the wolves, seeing your horse bolt, has prey instinct. It goes after the horse. One, two, three, four. He's right at your heels, barking and stuff, and chasing
That's
your
fine.
horse.
That's fine. As soon as I get to the river, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rein the horse in really quickly, and I'm actually going to stab my own horse through the neck.
Okay. You stab
there's-
your horse in the neck.
Well, can I kill it? Can I just, because ag damage sword.
Yeah, sure. You kill your horse.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and I'm going to let the wolves eat their fill of the horse, but very quickly I'm going to hack off a large chunk of its hide, aka the skin of the horse, and I'm gonna roll myself in it and throw myself into the river.
It's going to take you about 10 minutes to skin this horse. Sun will be up in 1 minute.
Oh. In that case, huh?
I think you just gotta like jump in the river and sink to the bottom and hope.
Well, I mean, I could do a. Do I have time to do a? I'm going to use this phrase. Do I have time to do a Luke Skywalker in a tauntaun situation? Split the horse's gut open, throw myself into the river, in the horse.
Yeah.
Because that'll provide me with some shelter.
Okay, you plunge your sword into the horse's gut,
Yes.
and all of its entrails come, flowing out in a hot, steaming mess, and the wolves set upon the horse.
Okay, well, Jake, in that case, I'm just going to throw myself into the lake and hope for the best. Throw myself into the river and hope for the best.
All right.
I mean, it's a dark ages river. Like I'm assuming it's not like fucking pristine. It's probably like murky and dark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a fate die and don't get a minus.
I got a plus.
All right. You throw yourself into the river, you sink to the bottom, and you get covered in muck.
Thank muck.
And you pass out.
Okay. I would like to point out the abbot has lost all of his dignity. Dignity
Yep.
was the thing past. He's literally going to show up to the monastery covered in muck and just like, I don't want to talk about it.